Hello there. Today we are talking about character awareness. I've got this presentation from my old character awareness lessons, and we are specifically talking about recognizing romance and passion from the hands. So character awareness is about recognizing the traits and abilities through the hands at a glance without necessarily looking at the lines. I will talk about the lines, but specifically when you see someone's hand, you see their personality and their traits immediately. So having this and knowledge can affect your choices in life, especially in relationships, personal or business. You'll be a step ahead in new relationships as well as existing ones because you will understand your partner or potential partner. So what to look for? As usual, any well-developed mount or finger suggests energy in the area. So if you're not if you don't have a lot of knowledge about palmistry yet, so a well-developed mount means the areas of the palm. So these are all called mounts. All these areas that are padded areas called mounts. So any well-developed mount or finger suggests more energy in that area. So once you have learnt some meanings of these mounts, you can check out my other videos. You'll quickly grasp an idea of their nature if a specific mount is more produced, well-developed. So the following features are used to identify these qualities. If I can get my thing to work, my thing's not working. There you go. So the mounts and finger length and their setting. So how the fingers are set, whether they're set on an even level, whether the thumb is set high or low, and also the phalanges. The phalanges are the sections of the fingers. So how they are developed, greatly developed or not greatly developed. The fingernails also count for the personality, the skin texture as well, and the consistency of the hand. So whether it's soft or whether it's very hard. So they are all the things you need to look for. So we get straight to the romantic one. So the romantic one is idealistic and sensitive person. So the hand shapes which would reveal these qualities is the water or fire hand. And this hand in the picture is a combination of both because she has a long, narrow looking palm, and the fingers, while they appear short in comparison to the palm, they are actually not what you call short fingers. But because of the overall appearance of this hand, it is a combination of water and fire, which gives those qualities of idealism, sensitive, but at the same time enthusiastic personality. So the fingers themselves are usually smooth with long top phalanges. So the top phalanges are obviously the tip of the fingers. So they're usually quite long. And the fingertips are round, not square looking. So the more pointed the fingertip, the more sensitive they probably are. The fingernails themselves are round or oval. A square fingernail gives a more practical, realistic and serious kind of character. So the round or oval gives a more impressive, sensitive nature. The base phalanges, which is the base of the fingers, on most fingers are slightly thicker than the rest of the finger. You can especially see, or you might see that, especially on the ring finger here, it is somewhat thicker than the rest of the finger. So that shows a sensual personality, a love of indulgence as such. So that goes towards the romantic personality. Okay, we have a bit more. Romantic continued. The mount of Moon and Venus are relatively the same size. So they're springy, well-rounded, but not overdeveloped. So springy means that they're not like flat and covered in creases. So the areas I'm talking about is the Mount of Moon, and I think my head is in the way, but the ball of the thumb is the Mount of Venus. So they should not be covered in lines. There should not be everything, creases and wrinkles all over it. They should be fairly smooth. Not saying that they will be completely smooth, but they should be as smooth as possible. The thumb is flexible, so it's not held tightly into the palm, and it's should be able to open the palm reasonably well without it looking extremely stiff. So the stiff thumb gives a more rigid personality. And the skin, that should be soft to medium coarseness. A very coarse skin gives a coldness and hardness to the character. So whilst they might have a romantic side to them, it's not natural for them. They're not going to be like very sensitive to a person's needs in that way. And because if the skin is soft, often there's many lines, because the softer the skin, the more lines there is. So the romantic one will have more lines. The coarse skin is not going to have many lines. You might have like 4 lines on the palm, and that's it, nothing more. So the heart line, which is the uppermost horizontal transverse crease, it should be long and gently curved. And usually, if I could draw it properly, this mouse drawing doesn't really work. So it should be nice, gentle curve, reaching up towards the index finger, or which I've written here, the Jupiter finger. And the headline, which is should also be curved, because a straight headline gives a much more serious outlook. So a gently curved headline shows good imagination and someone who's in touch with their feelings. Now we go a little bit further in the more intense, passionate nature, away from just gentle romance. A person with a lot of passion is likely to have a fire or earth hand, because they're naturally enthusiastic and energetic. So you need that energy to have that passion. So the fire hand was the rectangle shaped palm with slightly shorter fingers, sorry. So that was the fire hand. The skin should feel warm and soft and firm, not flabby, not saggy, soggy. It should be quite firm without feeling hard. So it's a firm, springy and warm feeling to it. So no coldness. And the Mount of Venus, which I've circled here in the picture, is large. And you can see that in this picture it's quite pronounced, which does show a high libido, which translates also to passion. So the thumb is average to long. A little thumb shows kind of a lack of get up and go. So they need to have that extra sort of drive and determination. So the thumb length gives much more passion than the. Continuing, the intense, passionate one. The fingers are rather smooth without protruding knuckles. And the fingertips will be rounded or even spatulate with oval or round nails again. Spatulate means that they slightly thicken at the tip. The lines on the palm are long and deep. So if they are very fine and delicate and short, then that doesn't give enough intensity and not enough to be called a passionate palm. And the heart line should have a curved shape, and the more curved it is, the more passion, especially if it's deeply curved towards the Saturn finger. So a deeply curved heart line is one like that, so it's not a gently one. So that's a very intensely passionate heart line. And in this photo, we have a simian line actually, so I'll remove that heart line because it's fake. This hand is a simian line, which means that there's one long line across the palm and not two. So that means that the head line and the heart line are kind of together, and that adds more intensity to the character. It can have the potential of being very passionate, especially, i.e., if there is what's called a girdle of Venus. Now, may I point out that the girdle of Venus does not always look exactly like that. There are partial girdle of Venus. I'll try and rub that one out. Where's my rubber? Okay. Partial girdle of Venus often looks like this, or it can be broken up. I've seen girdles. This is still a girdle of Venus. If you got lines like that and it's like all a bit swishy everywhere, it's the girdle of Venus. It adds much intensity and feeling into the nature of the person. And there you go. That is all I have for today, I believe. I will click on this and see what happens. And we shall talk more about this later on. I hope you've enjoyed it. You're welcome to comment and let me know what you think. Don't forget, please visit destinypalmistry.com and check out all the articles I have there. Thanks very much. Bye.